Number 9 of the 12 days of Christmas. Congratulations, you're launching something. And today, these are the 9 answers you have to have ready to rock and roll before you engage in that launch for it to go off well. So let's give a quick definition. A launch to me is promotion of a product, a service, an event, a offer that you have that you want to sell, period. You can be selling stuff all the time behind the scenes, privately in the DMs, when you're networking, when you're at Target, when you're just randomly in line at the coffee shop. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you wanting to actively promote something consistently, probably on social media, and have a little bit of a strategy behind it. If that sounds like you, congratulations, you're launching. And today I'm going to equip you with the 9 things you need to have the answers to in order for that to be a lot more seamless. Question number 1 you have to be able to answer is this: who is your offer for? And I just want to provide a quick example. You probably have ideal people for your overall just brand, like people in the Kelsey sphere. I have a vibe, I have a type of person I resonate and connect with the best. Like I know who that is. But for each one of my offers, it's actually a little bit different. So if we think of it like a big circle, there's a bunch of smaller circles within that, which is each of my offers. And I'm speaking to different people at different times. We're going to be launching my mastermind here soon. That's speaking to a very high level entrepreneur who has a team of people. They are growing their team or location size or offer suite. They have to hit one of those 3 things. Contrasting to someone who is joining Get Shit Done Club, which is a free accountability club. If you're not in it, definitely join if this sounds beneficial to you. But that's anyone who actively has goals in their business that they are aiming towards. They tend, for the most part, to be newer entrepreneurs or solopreneurs who are focusing on making real life changes and adjustments to hit their business goals. Could a remaster mastermind person be in Get Shit Done Club? Sure. It doesn't mean I'm kicking them out, but when I'm thinking of my messaging and I'm launching either of those things, yes, I even launch free stuff, by the way, because I'm promoting it. When I'm launching and speaking to those people, in my brain, I picture a different person sitting on the other side of the phone. So do the same thing. As you're thinking of the launch that you're doing, which we're going to do together, who is this for? And be specific with that. Number 2, answer you need. What problem does that offer solve? What's their pain points? What are they struggling with? What are they having a hard time with? What problem does that specific offer solve? And I don't care if you are a hairstylist and maybe you're thinking about this from the perspective of a haircut and you're like, I don't know, they just need a haircut. There's something deeper rooted there that's causing them to take action on booking a haircut. So ask those deeper questions. Maybe they're feeling, I don't know, insecure. Maybe they have a specific event coming up. Maybe they literally just have split ends and they know they need to get in for a trim. There is a moment of pain of some sort that is causing them to get out of that pain. And getting out of that pain is hiring you. Answer number 3, you need. What solutions does this offer your people? So this specific offer solves a problem. We talked about what the problem is. On the flip side, we need to know what that solution looks like. So I'm going to use the haircut example. They book the haircut. What does the solution look like? Their split ends are dealt with. Their hair is beautiful. It's easier to manage. It holds a curl. It feels healthier. I don't know, like it's rattling off what solutions exist after they buy your product or service. Being able to have these pre-done is just going to make marketing your thing so much easier. Number 4, similar to solutions but slightly different, is what transformation can they expect? So to me, solutions is like, what is the result? What are the end results? A transformation is kind of the emotional piece of that. How are they going to feel? So the solutions for the haircut would be like, your hair is healthier, it's easier to style. A transformation is you feel more confident. Maybe you stand a couple inches taller. Maybe you feel really pretty for that event. Maybe you finally are getting it set up to where you can get the color that you've been wanting and desiring. Maybe you get a lot of compliments. Like, what transformation does this specific offer provide to your people? From there, we need to know not only why you are the perfect person, but why are you the right person for this solution? And this is one I think a lot of people skim over. They just take their standard bio and like throw it out there. Like, oh, I'm launching Get Shit Done Club. It's free. I want people to join my community and come to me because I'm Kelsey, an entrepreneur who went to Washington State University, is a community builder, and is the host of the Get Shit Done podcast. That's really not doing a lot for me, is it? So tailor your messaging around you specifically. Why are you the best person for that offer? For the haircut example, I'm going to go back to that one because if you didn't know, I come from that world. And also, we all have probably had a haircut in our life, so we can picture this. If you are promoting haircuts specifically for whatever reason, maybe I want to know why cutting. Like if you're explaining why you're the best person for this offer, I don't want to know why you got into hair as a whole. I want to know why you're promoting cutting specifically. Maybe you learned a new technique. Maybe you cut wet and dry. Maybe like your specialty is lived-in haircuts. I don't know. I'm just making crap up. That being said, tailor your messaging to that specific offer, and I think it's going to go a lot further. It's going to be easier to communicate to your people as well. And fun fact, if you answer these 9 questions ahead of time and you just have these ready to go every time you're launching, you don't have to rethink and reinvent the wheel. You can just rinse and repeat. Moving right along. After we know who you are and why you're the best person for this specific offer, we also need to know what others are saying about your offer. And this is like, there's something to be said about me thinking I'm great and telling you, hey, I think I'm great, we should work together. But if someone else who you know and respect recommends me, that probably carries a lot more weight. It's that social proof piece. So another way of saying this is testimonials. And this is hilarious because vulnerable moment, this is not my strongest suit because I'm so like results oriented. I re-sign clients sometimes and I don't do the best job following up to ensure I get testimonials. And a lot of times they voice message them to me and I listen to them, I smile, and we move on. That being said, it's something I need to improve, and I know that. So hold me to it. But for you in this specific offer, definitely get feedback on that specific offer. Another hot tip here, don't just say, hey, if you have time, if you feel like it, if you feel so inclined, if you like the service, leave a review. Say like, hey, I'm strategically wanting to sign more people up for this offer. I would love your honest feedback. Here's a link to my Google review page. If you're struggling on what to say or how to put together a review, here's a couple questions you can answer that I find to be helpful to get the ball rolling for you. And that guidance, that tailored ask can just go so much further. And it also takes away some of the overwhelm that can exist for people too who are busy. We're all busy. Moving on. Now, there's a reason that this is number 7 and not number 1. I think your tendency would have been, oh, I need to know how much to charge for my offer. But that's not what is going to sell people into your offer. They need to know that they have a problem, first of all. So that's a huge step. If your people aren't even aware that they have a problem you can solve, if you keep trying to shove the solution and they don't even know that they have a problem and should listen to your solution, we got to start there. But the reason people buy is they identify they have a problem. They identify you call out the correct problem. They are willing to seek out a solution, and they see that you can be that solution for them. Those steps have to happen. And then it's that next level of how much does this cost? What am I gonna get? What's the next steps, etc. So from there, that's when we need to know how much you're charging for this thing. And I'm a huge fan of pricing transparency. And if you do super custom tailored quotes for people, a range is really nice just to set the tone. I mean, imagine if you are, I don't know, a luxury interior designer. That's an industry I work with a lot. Imagine if your ideal client, the people you work with, spend minimum $100,000 up to $500,000. But I'm a DIYer and in my brain, design should be $15,000. If I go all the way through the website, the sales funnel, even a call before knowing how much you are, and that is way beyond my budget, we just wasted both of our times. So to a point, I think that pricing transparency is super helpful because the truth is some people may come across your stuff and be like, that number is just completely out of the question. And if that's the case, in my opinion, I'd rather you just know that and self-filter and vice versa. I would rather protect my time and your time in that. And that's why I think a range, if you feel like it's super custom, I can't put a price, a range can be a really great place, or even like starting at price, something. Because there are those few people who may just be completely in a different ballgame in the pricing that you're trying to set for this thing. And if they truly are behind that and believe that is how much they should pay for the product or service and it's completely off base from what you charge, we need to nip that in the butt. I do think within the middle there's some wiggle room where people think something's worth this much, but a strategic sales conversation could still convert them, but we're talking like polar opposites, okay? Then once they know how much it is, you also need to be able to answer the question, what's included? So that's towards the end by design. Because again, back to what I was talking about, the pain points, the solutions, and all of that has to happen prior. There are going to be your type A people that are going to comb through your entire website and they need to know what's included. Do I get one-on-one calls or are they group calls? Are they an hour or are they 45 minutes? Is it once a week? Is it every other week? Do I get a course with it? How many modules are in the courses? Is it video or is it audio or is it both? Do we get a group chat? Or all of those things can be listed out at this point. And if you iron those out ahead of time, that can be really beneficial in how you communicate it. And by the way, when people think of launching, like throwing an event together, hosting a mastermind, going on a retreat, hosting a retreat, when they think of these things, people often start with how much am I going to charge for it and what's included. And they forget all this other stuff that I mentioned. There's a reason these two were towards the end. Yes, they're important, but they are not the be all end all for selling the thing. Last piece is why now is the time to buy. Another word for this is urgency. We can do this in a number of ways. The retreat is happening on a specific date. One-on-one coaching, first come, first save basis, I have one spot left. So where can we create that urgency, that nudge of like, this is not going to be just like on the rotation for forever. You know how Macy's has their one day, actually before Macy's, it was Bon Marché, but Bon Marché has their one day only sale that was like every day. It loses its teeth when you say things like that, but then you act the opposite. So how can we create a sense of urgency? And a couple ways to do this could be like a cap on how many. It can be a date where this drops off or ends. It could be a date where this is physically happening. It could be a bonus that exists for the first 5 people or for the first month that someone signs up, whatever. Another way to answer this question is why now the time to buy? An FAQ section that kind of targets all of those things. By the way, if you want to work with me in 2025, I'm having a kid. And now you know, I've talked about it a couple times on the show. That is going to be a constraint. So if you want to work with me, now's the time to have this conversation because I already have all of 2025 planned and a big chunk of 2025 summer involves a nice maternity leave where I will not be available. So that's a sense of urgency, right? And I'm not using that to be manipulative to you. I'm just being honest about it and using that as an example, maybe for you and your business. How can we help them come to this place? If they've made it this far, I'm picturing like a website page as we're talking through these answers that you need to know. How can we get them, if they've made it this far, to be like, you know what? Yes, now is the time. What questions do we need to answer, or what pieces of urgency that still feel genuine, authentic, and ethical can we bake in at that point in the conversation? So that's what I have for you. These are the 9 things you need to be able to answer. And then guess what? Now you have a sweet offer package for a sales page. You have a content strategy. You can hand this to a social media person who can build content for you. But answering these, it starts with being able to answer these questions and then act on them. Thank you so much. I'll catch you tomorrow for day number 10. Oh, and before I forget, we're running a contest over here on YouTube. All you have to do to enter is make sure you subscribe to my channel at Kelsey Marie Knutson, comment on all of these 12 days of Christmas videos on YouTube, and also feel free to comment on any of the December reels that you see posted throughout the month. We're going to put everyone's name in a drawing and select that winner in the new year after the 12 days of Christmas wraps up. So make sure to stay tuned for that. But I just want to remind you, if you win, you have an opportunity to do some 2025 planning with me, a business coach, and you get to come guest on the Get Shit Done podcast in 2025. So lots to look forward to. Thanks for being here. Hope to see your name entered into the drawing and can't wait to catch you in the next one.